Hello folks, Rico Rocks 2001 here. As I record this video, today is September 9th, 2020. The Sega Dreamcast, which is one of my favorite game systems of all time as a kid, and I still love it to this day, has a soft place in my heart. I say this because the Sega Dreamcast was released 21 years ago today on September 9th, for those who didn't know. The system was released on 9/9/99 in the US. In other countries, Japan got it in 1998, the UK got it the same year, just a few days later, because the way Europe launches their game systems are a bit different. Now, the easy way to tell the differences between the American, Japanese, and PAL versions of the Dreamcast, the standard white one that is looking at the front of the system. On the Japanese one, that little triangle piece, right, or trapezoid, behind that LED, it's clear on the Japanese models, although I think some of the other ones around the world are the same gray ones, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm taking this from Adam Koralik's Dreamcast comparison, although he only had 3 out of the 4 worldwide ones. He only had the UK, Japanese, and American one. He didn't own the Australia one, but to be fair, Australia gets the same stuff as the UK. This is the US version because I'm from the United States, that's why I'm making this video. The European/Australian one looks similar to this, but here's the thing. In Germany, there's already a trademark company that has an orange/red swirl, so Sega in Europe had to decide, if we can't use the red color, we better change it to blue, so we won't reach problems with that company in Germany. So that's why their logo is blue. Other than that, let's take a walk around the system. Now, I know I probably made a video before in the past of me making the Dreamcast review stuff, but I gotta do this yearly because it's my sort of thing, because I love the Dreamcast as much as Adam Koralik and Blake3one6 love the Dreamcast. Although I'm doing shoutouts for those 2 YouTube channels, they're more popular than my channel, and they've been around YouTube longer than I have. Well, sort of. I'd rather not get into that. Let's take a walk around the system. Over here is your open, or your power button, and this is your open button where you stick a game in, and that's where you stick your game in. You got your laser right here, and your GD-ROM that spins the games, and these 2 rubber things so it doesn't really scratch on the case. Well, the disc didn't scratch on the case. On the front, you have 4 controller ports. They weren't the best controller port design because a lot of people had problems with their controller ports. One of the fuses or jumpers on here would pop, and then you would have to replace it or try to get it to work by twisting it, but I would recommend replacing it if that's the case, the jumper. But if you don't have time for that, you can always take controller ports from a broken Dreamcast that do have working ports, and then you can call it a day. Dreamcasts have interchangeable parts. You can actually take controller ports from one and put in another, so that's very nice. Over on this side, you have the fan, which keeps the system nice and cool. It's a very nice small fan, but it keeps the system very nice and cool. On the back side, we have your AC adapter. It just uses a standard power cable. If you have one from your PlayStation 1 or Sega Saturn or PlayStation 2 or any kind of a power adapter that uses this kind of plug, you can use that on this Dreamcast, which is very nice. I'm going to skip over here to the AV out. You can use AV out cables that come with the system. You could use an S-video cable, which is third party. You could use the RF modulator, but these days, why would you want to use an RF modulator? Well, okay, to be fair, most people who have computers that want to hook up to their computer and use the RF picture, well, that's for that purpose. So if you use an RF modulator, I'm not going to judge you, but Adam Koralik probably would. I'm not that kind of person. But most people would recommend the VGA adapter that you can plug into here, because you can hook it up to a VGA monitor. Although there are other adapters there, but I'm not going to sit here all day and tell you about the monitors, or the adapters that you could use. This is the serial port. Wow, I can talk. This was used for a few accessories. Most of them were in Japan only. This was used for the Neo Geo Pocket Color in the US, but you can also use an SD card reader on this, which is really cool. And over here, I wanted to save this for last, is your modem adapter. Early Japanese Dreamcast did not come with a modem. It came with like a dummy case, which was made with nothing but plastic. You wouldn't have this. You wouldn't have a connector. It would just be a dummy modem, to be more specific. Now, this is a 56K modem in the US. As for other, there's also the broadband adapter, which would say something else. The connector would be bigger. And that's what you could also get for the Dreamcast. It may be hard to come across, but if you find one for a good deal, I say go for it. After all, I agree with Adam Koralik, the broadband adapter makes the games much more nicer and pleasing to use. As for other countries, I don't know how many Ks they use. I think the Aussie ones use only 23K. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to have people write in the comments saying that I'm wrong. I just want to make sure I'm getting the information correct. So other than that, that's the system. Let's take a look at the controller. The controller is your standard Dreamcast controller. Now, some of you may be saying, hey, this looks similar to an Xbox controller. And that's because when Microsoft got into the gaming market, they decided to take inspiration from the Dreamcast controller. Well, their first original controller was not a replica of this, but the controller S and the 360 were actually a replica to that. In fact, I'll actually do a controller comparison in just a moment. But for now, let's take a walk around this controller. You have your directional pad. It's not the best, but certainly not the worst directional pad. I think the worst ever directional pad has to go to the Xbox controller. At least the Xbox One has sort of fixed that problem, but I'm not going to go over best directional pads. This one is okay. Some people say they have problems with it slipping, but I haven't had that problem. The thumbstick was more my gripe, honestly, because this is a hard plastic, and I have two other Dreamcast controllers, which I actually modified and put rubber coating from another analog stick from a broken controller. I'll show that in a moment. You got your A, B, Y, and X buttons. Now, this almost has the same color scheme as the Xbox, except they're swapped a bit. Same with the Super Nintendo. The only difference is B and X on, well, the European Super Nintendo and Japanese Super Famicom. On a Super Nintendo PAL and Japanese Super Famicom, B would be yellow and X would be blue. And on an Xbox controller, A would be green, B would be red, Y would be yellow, and X would be blue. On the back here, you got your triggers. They're very nice and comfortable. I really like the trigger design on this controller. It makes it great for racing games. The two slots right here are expansion slots for accessories for your memory cards, rumble packs, and microphones. Now, I don't have the microphone because I don't have Seaman, which I don't think I'm ever going to get that game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Leonard Nimoy is a good, well-known celebrity, but the game is too weirdish for my liking. I'll just stick with Hey You Pikachu on the N64. That's the only interactive game that I like using the microphone for. Well, that and Mario Party 6 and 7, but don't judge me, that's just my opinion. I mean, I'll give credit for them creating a game where you use a microphone to interact with those games, but not everyone likes the same thing, so please don't judge me for that. Now, let me go ahead and grab an Xbox 360 controller and show you some similarities between an Xbox 360 and, well, the Dreamcast controller. Here's my Xbox 360 controller. Now, this is actually a spare one, so other than that, you may notice there are some similarities. Other than the color, I don't have a white 360 controller. I do have a black Dreamcast controller, but it doesn't look that pretty. And besides, it's missing a few things. It's missing that little Dreamcast VMU window thing, so I don't want to show it on camera, but I'll probably show it in another video. So, other than that, you've got some similarities. You got your thumbstick on the left, your directional pad, your face buttons, and your triggers. Now, if I had an original Xbox controller, this would be a far better comparison, but I don't. I actually gave it to a friend who plays a lot of games on his original Xbox, and he needed it more than I do, since I play all my Xbox games on the 360. So that's why I don't have an original Xbox controller for the size comparison. So sorry, you can't expect everything. However, this does have two expansion slots. This one's for the charging cable, and this one's for the the headset. So what came from this, we later got for the original Xbox and this, and even the Xbox One, which I don't have and I don't think I'll ever get, because I don't think the Xbox One is a well-designed system. Now, I still have the same 4 games, unfortunately. I still have Sonic Adventure 2, Crazy Taxi, Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Shuffle. I got rid of 18-Wheeler because, well, it wasn't one of my favorite racing games. I did buy those burned copy discs to try to burn my own Dreamcast games. However, I still need help on how to burn my own Dreamcast games, so when I find one of my loose CDs, I would appreciate people helping me in the comments to show me how to burn my own Dreamcast games, so I would really appreciate that. Anyway, I might as well show you one of my modded Dreamcast controllers that I did. So, now, trust me, if you ever get a Dreamcast, you may actually want to do this mod. First, we'll start with my clear blue one. I modded it with a third-party GameCube controller analog stick cover. It actually feels nice in the hands, and trust me, if you actually have a broken GameCube controller, you could actually take the top off and super glue it on the hard plastic. It makes a world of difference. I also did the same to my other controller, except I took one from a broken PlayStation 2 controller because PS2 controllers break down a lot. So I decided to stick it in here. Although it's not pretty, but let me just say, this actually grips very, very well. I'm actually very impressed with this. Oh, and yes, I do have an extension cable right there for the controller because I sit across from here. And I need to mention my white Dreamcast right here does not work, but that's okay. It's because I do have another Dreamcast over there. It's a black Sega Sports Dreamcast, so in part 2, I'm going to go ahead and play some Crazy Taxi and Sonic Adventure in that part, so I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. Unless, unless my channel actually accepts videos over 15 minutes, then I'm going to post that video in this video, so whatever happens, either keep watching here or see you in the next video. So, time for me to turn off the camera, but I'll be back. Okay, I got the game system set up. I popped in Crazy Taxi, and I have one of my controllers that I modified. Well, the thumbstick part, trust me, if you have a Dreamcast controller and you hate how the thumbstick feels, try this mod. It actually works very well. Now, it's not the most presentable, but at least it works. That's the main point of the video. My thumb never slips off on the rubber grips, so I know the PlayStation 2 killed the Dreamcast, but broken PS2 controllers make great parts to use to mod a working Dreamcast controller, so at least Dreamcast controllers never break down. They live on. So other than that, let's go ahead and fire up the system. Now, if you've heard, when you start up a Dreamcast, most of you should recognize this. I'll have the controller pointed so you can hear it. Listen. Recognize that? Sorry if I had the controller really close, but it's just to prove my point. Ah, the good old Dreamcast logo. If you're from Europe, yours would be blue. Same with Australia. Now, let's set the date. Oops, not the 7th. Today's the 9th. And set it to 2020. And the time right now is 1932. I'll do 1933. Which is 7:32 or 7:33 p.m. Loading Crazy Taxi. Let's go ahead and play some Crazy Taxi. Presented by Sega. I also have the Xbox 360 version of Crazy Taxi.
Hey, come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi. It's party time, and let's have some fun.
Now, if you don't have a Dreamcast, you can still get this game for GameCube, PS2, or original Xbox, or you can download it on PSN and Xbox Live Arcade. Although, if you want the original music, you should get the Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube, or original Xbox. We're going to do arcade mode. We're going to play by the arcade rules.
Alright, let's go make some crazy money.
Here we go.
Go ahead and pick a
I'm going for BD Joe. He's my favorite character before, next to Gina. Here we go.
Good job. To the
BD Joe's voice is better in the original Dreamcast version, in my opinion. Yeah. The more stunts you do, the more points you can get. Yeah. Yikes. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Got 43 seconds left on the clock. There we go. Now I need to go find someone to pick up. Well, there's the original Levi store. There's Pizza Hut. Funny enough, the Xbox and PSN version don't have the brand names, which is funny. You would think they would, but I guess because of licensing. Ah, Speedy, awesome. Alright, let's go to this person. To the Kentucky Fried Chicken. They do chicken. Funny enough, they call it the Chicken Shack in the Xbox Live version. They don't even call it KFC. The RV station. There's the church.
Come on, let's go. Come on, let's get going.
Whoops. 2 seconds.
Go straight.
I love it when he says that. Awesome.
Wait, I didn't expect you to hear so fast. Come on, Steve. Thanks.
To the heliport. Yeah. Oh, no, that's the wrong way. Sorry. That's embarrassing. You think you're going the right way and then the guy tells you you're going the wrong way. That's embarrassing. He didn't tell me that. Alright! I got speed for that. Oops. I gotta find another person who's willing to be picked up.
Yo, we gotta move. Hey, make you stop closer.
Sorry, I didn't want to run over you.
Go that way. Shut up and move your butt. Come on, let's go. Come on.
20 seconds.
Go that way.
Oh no. Oh, this is bad.
You are unbelievable. Hey, this is great. I want to go to the baseball stadium.
Here we go.
Go that way. Shut up and move your butt. Cool.
Can't go wrong with Crazy Taxi. This is a game I totally recommend picking up or downloading.
Pay more attention.
Or emulating or something like that. I've actually played the arcade version I forgot to mention. It was at a Red Robin when they actually used to have arcade machines. No. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. My timer's going to turn red, I'll bet you. He's mad. Sorry. It was that guy's fault. And partially mine, because the car went out of my tech. Oh, no. Not again. Please. I'm having bad luck over here. 9, 8. I gotta find someone real quick. 7, 6, 5.
Good job.
Alright. I have 20 seconds left. I gotta drop this person off first. Uh-oh. Time's running out. Sorry! Looks like game over.
Today, now let's take a look. Class B license. You decided to play it safe, huh? Come back next time and show us your best.
Well, I did pretty good. That's gotta be my best record. So, well, that concludes Crazy Taxi. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to Sonic Adventure 1, to be more specific. So, let's go ahead and eject Crazy Taxi out of the system. The nice thing about the Dreamcast is when you open the lid, it goes back to the main menu. Most systems you try to do that, it will crash on you. You would actually have to turn off the system or reset it or something like that. Now, you can't do that with the... Well, you can't... And I dropped the game. That's lovely. Luckily, it was upside down, so if anything got scratched, it'd be the top, which is not a big deal, but if it's the bottom, it's a really big deal. So let's go ahead and play some Sonic Adventure. Alright. I'm going to do one of my favorite stages. I'm not going to do Emerald Coast like I did last year or the year before. I'm going to do Twinkle Park. I'm going to basically play as two characters. I'm going to play as Sonic first, and then I'm going to do Amy.
Let's get him!
So, we start off with Station Square. So, we're going to head to Twinkle Park with two characters. Welcome to Twinkle Park.
Welcome to Twinkle Park.
Here we go. Stage 5. I already completed the mission part, that's why I didn't say anything on that. Take this, you robot drivers. Ah! Not cool, man. Nice. Or as Sonic would say, that is uncool. Anyone who's ever watched Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog will get the reference. Yeah. Oh, that was a close one. Alright.
Woohoo! 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 Woohoo!
70 rings, wow. moved out of the way, otherwise I would have lost those 98 rings. 110 rings. Nice. While the counter on the race car just says 99. It'd be interesting if they could go back to 23. Time to go to my favorite part of the stage, the Pleasure Castle. This is why I love Twinkle Park. To one person that I know very well, I'm not going to mention them because I'm not sure if they want me to mention them. I once mentioned Twinkle Park to them, they were mixed on the name. I was trying to do a shortcut and it didn't work out in my favor. I saw it on a YouTube video that I saw. That's why I tried doing that trick. It's a good idea to do a shortcut, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you know what you're doing. I've done it several times, so sorry about that. I know I'm missing the part with the rings, but I'm just trying to get to the lower road quickly. I missed them! That's a first timer. That's never happened with me before. This is the part where Amy Rose has to get into the mirror. And I'll be doing that next. Oh no, this is not what I was hoping for. This is where Amy escapes. Oh no, not again. Oh. I have to do this again. Lame. Hope I don't fall. Because I really want to make this video as short as I can. No, not again! Don't! Give me a break. Check for those bombs. Check for those. Oh, that was a close one. Thought I was going to fall. Alright, we're near the end. Awesome. The end of the stage, that is. If you're thinking of something else, don't get the wrong idea. I'm referring to the end of the stage. Here we are. No. There we go. Yes! If I was trying to do mission A to beat the clock, I would have failed. And so I would have said, hey, pump it up! Now that I've done Pleasure Castle with Sonic, it's time to switch over to my favorite Sonic character, who unfortunately these days does not have the best voice actress. I'm sorry, Cindy Robinson, I don't like you as Amy. I think you should step down and let Lisa Ortiz or Jennifer Dillard step back in. I know it's not your decision, but if you had that decision, I would appreciate that. Alright, now let's switch over to my favorite character.
Select a character.
It's my turn now.
That's right, it's your turn, Amy. So, let's head over to Twinkle Park. Here's how I clear the level. Look at Birdie, or Lily. And yes, I have the hammer upgrade. If you beat Hedgehog Hammer with a certain number of points, Amy will have a green hammer instead of her usual goldish yellow hammer.
Welcome to Twinkle Park.
There we go. Twinkle Park. Let's try to finish this stage real quick. This is how I cleared the level without having that robot chase after me on the first portion. If you go this way over here, he'll come after you. Here's what you do. You come back this way.
You must get away from it no matter what.
Oh, that was a close one. Because the other two switches are right over here. Just what I need. Watch out. See, that's how you do this part without getting the robot to come after you. Trust me, you don't want that robot chasing after you. Here we are. The music's really creepy in the mirror room. Ah, stop following me. I don't know why that robot keeps following Amy, even though Dr. Eggman already got the Chaos Emerald, which is what the bird was holding. The bird's name's Birdie in the game, but in the show Sonic X, which I really love, don't judge me, the bird's name's Lily. I'll stand up for a while. No. I was pushing the thumbstick the wrong way. Oh no! Yikes! Run! Oh, that was a close one. It's funny that Amy can kill those enemies easier than Sonic can. I'm not gonna bother with that. Nice. The robot usually comes over here. Alright, mission complete. Sometimes the robot tries to jump and grab her, but obviously it fails. Well, that pretty much concludes my gameplay of Sonic Adventure and Crazy Taxi. So, other than that, I'm pretty much going to end off the video and...
Welcome to Twinkle.
I'm pretty much going to end off the video here and say thank you for watching my tribute anniversary happy birthday wish to the Sega Dreamcast for its 21st year, or 21 years old. So other than that, thanks for watching this video, whether it be a 2-part or 3-part or all-in-one video. I want to thank you guys for watching it. So until the next video, this is RicoRox2001 saying you should pick up Sonic Adventure and Crazy Taxi and Sonic Adventure 2. They're available not only on just Dreamcast, but they're also on GameCube, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live Arcade, and even PC. I say recommend getting them. Although if you're after Sonic Adventure, I recommend getting the Director's Cut version. At least you can skip cutscenes on that. But more importantly, you can actually do a fun mission mode where you have to bring items and stuff. As for Crazy Taxi, it really doesn't matter which version you get. Now, the GameCube version of Sonic Adventure is what I'd recommend because not only can you get the mission mode, you can also get Game Gear games on that after collecting a certain number of emblems. I don't know if you can do that in the Xbox Live Arcade version or PlayStation Network version. I've downloaded both of them, and so I can't really answer those. So until then, that's all I have to say for this video. Thank you for watching. Until this, happy 21st birthday, Sega Dreamcast. You will always be one of Sega's best game systems next to the Genesis, or alongside the Genesis. The Genesis was also good. The Saturn, Master System, and Game Gear are also good ones, but not up to the high standards as the Dreamcast or Genesis. So this time I'm really going to end off the video, so thanks for watching.